starts off at the moment of conception of George Mastromas and goes on till very, very late in his life. And it's this kind of epic span of a boy that starts off in a really ordinary way like the rest of us, you know, his best friend at school who does he sit next to, the first person that he falls in love with, his kind of the long kind of days of summer when he's 17 and 18, all those things that we recognise. And he's really ordinary and his life is not going to be spectacular.
He's a moral person, and what he tends to do is anytime he's faced with a decision is he does the generally moral thing, but he can't quite decide whether this is goodness or cowardice that's making him do these things. And so every time he does something, as a schoolboy for example, he'll do something that's generally the right thing to do and it'll go horribly wrong and his life will be screwed up because of it. And he does that all throughout his life until he gets to a certain moment where he suddenly realises that what he needs to do to get everything he wants in his life is just to lie from the bottom of his heart. And from that moment on, he is completely amoral, and he cheats, he lies, he's corrupt, and his life is a great big success.
And then somebody offers him the keys to the kingdom, if you like, and then he can be truly successful and have an amazing life, and he takes it. So it's this kind of extraordinary journey of somebody from ordinary to hugely successful at what cost?
I wanted to write about someone who was a fake. I think a lot of people feel like fakes in our ordinary lives. We feel that we perform versions of ourselves. I mean, this is something that is familiar to a lot of people, that you know, there's that whole thing about, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but when I was in my 20s, I didn't want groups of friends to meet because I thought if they did, they would all find out the lies I've been telling different groups. And they weren't huge lies, they weren't like George's lies. I would just sort of represent myself slightly differently to different groups of people, maybe because I was a bit of a people pleaser. I wanted people to like me, you know. In my 30s, I sort of chilled out about that and just thought, to hell with it, this is who I am. If you like me, if you don't, you don't. But that thing of being a bit of a fraud is something that I think a lot of people feel. So I wanted to write about a real fraud, you know.
I think that Dennis is, I mean, in a way, all good writers are unique, aren't they? But I think the thing that makes Dennis really unique is this balance, which is really true in the play as well, of him being incredibly ordinary and down to earth, and an absolute genius with story and with words. And the rhythms of the language are thrilling, and he's not scared of putting kind of humour really close to something really, really dark. So his work feels incredibly modern and really sort of contemporary and really about our generations and the world that we live in now. So yeah, I think that's kind of one of Dennis's huge qualities. I'm so proud of the cast. I think Dennis and I keep looking to each other and go, well, and with Amy, our brilliant casting director, didn't we do well with the cast? Because they're fearless, they're incredibly precise, they're very, very challenging, and they are working so, so hard to try to give the audience the best experience possible. So we feel that we're in a very sort of concentrated, brilliant place to try and get the best show we can.
So coming here has been amazing, you know, and you know, working with Vicky is great because I've got a relationship with Vicky. We never actually managed to work together on a play, but she gave me some of my first breaks in theatre. So coming here in her first season is great. I just hope I don't break it. I hope I don't break the Royal Court. That's what I'm trying not to do.